Namaste dear students, welcome to our YouTube channel Master Physics Academy. By learning physics here, you will master physics. Happy learning, ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಲಿ, ಶುಭವಾಗಲಿ. A bomb of mass 18 kg at rest explodes into two pieces of masses 6 kg and 12 kg. The velocity of 12 kg mass is 4 meter per second. The kinetic energy of the other mass is. Here there is a bomb of mass 18 kg and it is at rest initially. Therefore, its linear momentum initially will be equal to 0. Now this bomb explodes and it breaks into two pieces. One of the piece is having 12 kg in mass and it flies off with a speed of 4 meter per second. Obviously, the other mass, which is of mass 6 kg, should fly off in the opposite direction so that the total linear momentum after explosion should remain same. Let us indicate its velocity by v. So technically what do we know is 12 into 4, that is linear momentum of 12 kg mass plus 6 into v. What is 6 into v? That is the linear momentum of the mass of 6 kg. That must be equal to 0 according to the law of conservation of linear momentum. So solving this, we will be getting v equals minus. So 12 into 4 is 48 divided by 6. So it is going to be 8 meter per second with a negative sign. Negative sign indicates that it is opposite to the velocity of 12 kg mass. Now they are asking the kinetic energy of the other body. Other body means the body which is having mass 6 kg. Because we do got the information here about the 12 kg mass. The kinetic energy of the other mass means they are asking about the body which is having 6 kg mass. So its kinetic energy will be equal to half into 6, which is mass, into velocity squared. What is velocity squared? So it is going to be 8 squared here. So solving this, we will be getting 3 times 64. What is 3 times 64? It is 192 joules. So therefore the correct option is option B. A 2 kg mass lying on a table is displaced in the horizontal direction through 50 centimeter. The work done by the normal reaction will be. Here let us consider this as the surface of the table on which we have a block of mass 2 kg which is moved along the horizontal so that the displacement produced is equal to 50 centimeter. The question they are asking is, what is the work done by the normal reaction? So what is normal reaction? So it will be always perpendicular to the surfaces in contact, and in this case it is going to be upwards. So I will mark that by letter R, and whose magnitude will be equal to mg for flat surfaces like this. So m is 2 kg, g is 10 meter per second squared. Multiplying these two, will be getting the normal reaction as 20 Newton. The angle between the normal reaction and displacement produced is 90 degree as shown in the diagram. Now the definition of work done says it is force dot displacement. What force they are mentioning here is the normal reaction, therefore it is going to be R dot S. Now R dot S, upon expansion we know that it is going to be Rs cos theta, where theta is the angle between R and S, which is 90 degree in this case, and we know that cos 90 is 0, hence the final answer is going to be 0. Therefore option we need to choose is option B, 0. A sample of radioactive element whose half-life is 30 seconds contains a million nuclei at a certain instant of time. How many nuclei will be left after 10 seconds? The formula what we can use here is the number of nuclei left in the sample is equal to number of nuclei at the initial time, that is n naught, into 1 divided by 2 power n, where n indicates, that is small letter n indicates number of half-lives completed. Number of half-lives completed. So it is given that half-life of the radioactive nuclei is 30 seconds and the time that has elapsed is just 10 seconds. Therefore, number of half-life completed is given by T divided by capital T, which is going to be 1 by 3. Then let us substitute n naught is 10 power 5. It is given like, million it is. So it is going to be 10 power 6 into 1 divided by cube root of 2. Upon solving, we will be getting answer as 0.794 into 10 to the power 6. So these many nuclei is left in the sample after 10 seconds. But none of the given option is matching with this answer. Hence, maybe they have provided grace mark for the question number 43. A radioactive substance decays at 1 by 32 of its initial activity in 25 days. Its half-life is, so here the formula what we can use here, the activity after 25 days divided by activity initially is equal to 1 divided by 2 to the power n, where n marks the number of half-lives completed so far. Number of half-life completed. Now let us substitute. A by A naught is given as 1 by 32 and that is going to be equal to 1 divided by 2 power n. So upon solving, we will be finding that n is equal to 5 in this case. That means 5 half-life has been completed. 5 half-life has been completed, that is equal to 25 days. Solving this, we will be getting answer for T equals to 5 days. Therefore, option C is the right choice. The shortest wavelengths of Paston, Balmer and Lyman series are in the ratio. The general formula for the shortest wavelength in any series is given by lambda equals n1 square divided by r. Now, for Paston series, n1 value is equal to 3. Therefore, lambda for Paston series is going to be 9 divided by r. And for Balmer series, n1 value will be equal to 2. Therefore, the wavelength of Balmer series, that is shortest wavelength for Balmer series, is going to be 4 divided by r. Now for the Lyman series, the value of n1 is equal to 1 and the shortest wavelength in this series is going to be 1 by r. Now they are asking the ratio, that is lambda p is to lambda b is to lambda l, which is going to be 9:4:1, which is provided in option C. 9:4:1, option C is the right choice. A nuclear fission is said to be critical when multiplication factor or K. The multiplication factor of a nuclear fission reaction is defined as number of fission reactions taking place by given set of neutrons divided by number of fission reactions taking place in the preceding stage stage. Now, if k value is less than 1, what does that indicate? If k is less than 1, the power generated by the reactor goes on decreasing and eventually at some point becomes 0. And if k value is greater than 1, what does that indicate? The power generated by the nuclear reactor go on increasing and at some point it becomes uncontrollable chain reaction, which is very dangerous. But if k equals 1, it does indicate that the power generated by the nuclear reactor remains constant and we are getting a constant power output from it. So this is a good case. So this is also called as critical case. Hence the option we should mark here is option A. The average energy of molecules in a sample of oxygen gas at 300 Kelvin are 6.21 into 10 to the power minus 21 joules. The corresponding values at 600 Kelvin are: the average kinetic energy of the molecule in any sample is given by 3 by 2 kBT, where kB is Boltzmann constant and T is absolute temperature of the given gas. Here what do we notice is the kinetic energy of the molecule is directly proportional to the absolute temperature of the gas molecule. Therefore, here since we are doubling the temperature, the kinetic energy has to get doubled. So that means the double the value of the initial kinetic energy, that is 6.21 into 10 to the power minus 21 is going to be 12.42 into 10 to the power minus 21 joules, which is given in option D. A TV tower is 120-meter high. How much more height is to be added to it if its coverage range is to become double? So the range covered by the antenna is given by formula D equals 2 times radius of earth multiplied to the height of the antenna. Now the D dash value should be equal to 2 times D, that is the clause they have given. So what is the formula for D dash? It is going to be 2R H dash, where H dash is the new height of the antenna, that is equal to 2 times D. What do we know about D is 2R H. Now squaring both sides, we will be getting 2R H dash is equal to 4 times 2R H. So that means H dash is equal to 4 times the initial value of height of the antenna, which is 120 meter. So 4 times 120 meter is 480 meter. But be careful, in the question they have clearly mentioned that how much more height is to be added. So that means we need to calculate the difference in the final height and the initial height. So that is going to be 480 minus 120 meter, which is 360 meter as given in option C. A message signal of frequency 10 kHz and peak value of 10 volts is used to moderate a carrier frequency 1 MHz and peak voltage 20 volts. The modulation index and side bands produced are. The modulation index is defined by the voltage of message signal divided by voltage of carrier signal. Voltage of message signal is given as 10 volts. Voltage of carrier signal is given as 20 volts. Solving this, we will be getting modulation index as 0.5. Now the side bands. The lower side band is given by the formula frequency of carrier signal minus frequency of message signal. So I will convert this 1 megahertz in terms of kilohertz, that is going to be 1000 kilohertz. So lower sideband frequency will be equal to 1000 minus 10 equals 990 kilohertz. And for the upper sideband frequency, we have formula the carrier frequency plus the message signal frequency. Carrier frequency is 1000 kilohertz plus message signal frequency is 10 kilohertz. Adding these two, we will be getting 1010 kilohertz. Therefore, the correct option in this case is option B. The wireless communication frequency bands for cellular mobile radio, mobile to base station are in range of. It's a memory based question. The correct option is option C, that is from mobile to base. The informations are passed in the frequency range of 896 megahertz to 901 megahertz. But for the base station to mobile, the informations are passed in the frequency range that is equal to 840 to 935 megahertz. Just for your knowledge sake, I am just writing this. So the correct answer is option C here.